Why is league so damn hard? I don't get it. Listen, you wake up, you want to do some morning solo queue, and I find that the morning solo queue games are just absolutely awful. Everybody's tilted. It seems like nobody wants to play. It's just a disaster every single time in the morning. Now, why am I playing in the morning? First of all, right? I should be at work. I should be doing something productive, right? Why am I playing League of Legends in the morning? Why is that even a thing? Well, let me tell you why, because that's what I want to do. That's what my gut is telling me to do. I've played video games my entire life. Since I was a kid, my dad got me my first PS2 when I was around 6 years old. And I've literally maxed out every single game that my father gave me since I was a little kid. And it reached a point where I would have like 80 games on rotation at once. So that's who I am. I know who I am. Now, it took me a while to get here, to understand who I actually am and what I actually enjoy in this life and how to live for my own passions instead of others. That's why I'm playing solo queue in the morning. That's why I'm not busting my ass out there doing construction just because somebody told me that's the right way to do it. That's not what I want to do. I've already done that because society told me that's the right thing to do. And sure, I made money. I was productive. People respected me more. But that's not what I truly wanted to do. So I said, fuck that. And I'm doing what I want to do because you only have one life. And if you constantly live for other people's expectations, what life are you living? At that point, you're living for somebody else and not for your own. So following the heart is what I've been learning as of recently. And now I'm only 20 years old. I'm turning 21 in 3 months. I'm only 20. Now I have so much time ahead of me that I kind of lost track of time, basically. So to put into perspective, I started a business when I was 18 years old. Now that business was very successful, and I will admit, based on my age, 18, 19, I've made much more money and have much more success than a lot of people my age. Majority of people my age, I would say. My business was very successful, but I realized I was doing all of that just to impress society. I wasn't doing it for my own. And sure, it might have been fulfilling at times, but it was just getting to a point where I would work relentlessly and cut everything out in my life, including video games. I didn't play video games for 3 years, 4 years, because I wanted to be a good member of society and be productive and start my own business and do all these types of stuff and like get rich, because you see all these online gurus telling you that's the way to live life and that's how you're going to be happy. But I did that, made good money, made a successful business, and realized I would work hard for 3 months and then be fully like burned out. I don't want to do this anymore, and crash out for like 2 months. And I started to question, like, what am I doing this for? Okay, I'm making all this money, but my soul is dwindling. There's no fire in my soul anymore. I'm just doing this for the sake of society. So I took a look at myself and I'm like, okay, let's go all the way to my roots, right? Because that's a good trick, to find what you're really passionate about, is go all the way back when you were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old and take a look at what you did as a child that really lit you up. And that really put a fire in your soul, right? And for me, that was video games. That was all my life. I would have skipped school to play video games, okay? School is like a prison, right? As a kid, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. And going to school, I just hated it so much. I would even fake being sick to not go to school. Why is that? Why are we forced into this place that I don't want to be? I'm a human. I can choose whatever. God placed a heart inside of me, a gut inside of me that tells me where to go. I have instincts. Why would I go against that? Why would I go against God's calling? It doesn't make any sense. And society thrusts on their instincts onto us when that's not truly what we want to do. And we're just hampering it down. We're just squashing it, throwing it under the rug, and not letting humans evolve like they should in their day-to-day life. And when I have kids, I'll make sure that they know that they can do whatever they want, whatever their heart desires. Okay? Now it's 2025. We have a lot of conditioning from society. Oh, you need to be more disciplined. You need to be do this. You need to cut out sugar. You need to go to the gym 7 days a week, or else you're stupid. You're not a man. You need to get a Lambo. As you'd say, you need to go to Dubai. You need to get out the woman. That's all BS. It's all BS. It's gonna leave a life where you don't enjoy it. You're being disciplined just for the sake of being disciplined, just to impress some guy that you saw on the internet. You want to post on social media that you're doing the right thing, and you're not following your heart. So back to League of Legends, like I was talking about here. Why is it so hard? Why is League so hard in the first place? Like I'll have days, 3 days or something, where I'm just going off. Like my game is literally picture perfect. I'm like 7-0 on a win streak. I'm just going off. I'm carrying every game. I'm like 21-0 on Nocturne. And then the next day, and the next few days after that, I'm like, I just play like a bronze player. I play like an absolute noob. Now, why is that? Yeah, I'm not too sure, man. Not too sure. Why is that? Now, that might be due to me having bad sleep. It might be due to League's matchmaking. I don't know. But this is the cycle that I'm currently in. Now, I've only been playing for 4 months, okay? And for 4 months I've been playing, I've reached gold 3. That was my best rank that I've reached so far in only 4 months of actually playing League of Legends. And mind you, I come from console, okay? My whole life I've only been playing console. People will actually pay me to help them rank up in Fortnite or get wins in Fortnite, well, on my PS4, okay, when I was like in middle school. Not in middle school anymore, obviously. So I come from console. I used to do like claw. I had like this little special position with my hands to specifically on the PS4 controller. And so for me to come and go to the PC, it's going to be harder, obviously. And so I'm obviously learning how to do the PC controls as well. So I guess that's a thing I had to learn as well. But we made it to gold 4, and I'm trying to get to Challenger, okay? That is where my heart is at right now. That is where I want to be, okay? That is what I want to do with my life right now. I would get to Challenger because that's what always made me happy my whole life, ranking up. I was actually a top 500 player in Overwatch on PS4. Now, I'm sure if I boot up my PS4, I can probably find a screenshot. But I reached top 500 when I was like 14 years old, when Overwatch was really popping. I played ranked to grind that, and I reached top 500 with the character Pharah. And so I've always had this knack for video games my whole life. And for some reason, I just cut it out. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because society is expecting something else from me. When I said, okay, fine, you won. But that's not the way to do it. And so back to the topic. League, man, it's like it's a video game I never played before because you're in this third-person aerial view. I've always been a first-person shooter guy. And you're clicking. You got to be like precise in your clicks, okay? And your movements, your dodges. It's a very unique experience that I never experienced ever in my life before. Okay, I'm not used to computer games at all. But I found it very fun, very rewarding when you know how to actually play the game and outskill your opponent. Very, very rewarding. Now, for the first couple months, it was very hard when I first got into ranked. It was the most tilting experience I've ever had in my life. You wanna know why? Because I didn't know the champions. I didn't know their abilities. I didn't know what they did. The most infuriating champion was Set, okay? When I first started playing League of Legends, Set was the most infuriating motherfucker of all fucking time because when I would play jungle, I would try to gank this guy and boom, boom, I'm getting him. Oh, he's one shot. Oh, he just one shots you with his W. I'm like, what the fuck? That was the most infuriating thing of all time, okay? Set with his W, I'm like, how do you counter this? This is the most unfair thing I've ever heard. So I banned him. Ilawe was another one. These top lane champions, man, something is up in the Riot's head making these champions. Ilawe Just uses her R and she just spawns these tentacles out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell is this, bro? So it took me a while to get used to that, and I'm still getting used to it, obviously. Learning these new champions, I'm obviously haven't learned every single champion. I haven't played every single champion yet, but I have a solid understanding of almost every single champion, which is made me able to climb to gold 3 in only a couple months. So I think that's all. I mean, it's kind of just a random video talking about everything, but yeah, subscribe because we're going to be getting Challenger here soon. And yeah, peace.